Hello everyone, it's square root of -1 over here, and we're bringing you another match of the 2v2 Paradise Showmatch Series. This time we're going to be playing on Yin Yang, and in the top right hand side it's going to be our team of bScherm and Python. Up against them in the bottom left hand side of the map, it's going to be itzJ and elbarto. Okay, so I believe this, they were talking a little bit earlier in the game, and they're saying it's going to be a best of 3 rather than a best of 5. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. We're not going to see the full range of maps, but we are on Yin Yang, which is a pretty small-ish map. It's really hard to take the naturals, and we do have some workers going across the map for Team bScherm and Team Python, or bScherm and Python, excuse me. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit of cheese going on early on. So we have a den and a den at the same time. Looks like probably with one worker going across the map, it's probably going to be werewolf, double werewolf cheese if I had to guess. But yeah, so Yin Yang is a map created by Stevenator, I believe. And as you can see from the huge yin yang symbol in the middle of the map. Very nice artistic design. But I would say it's not too difficult to get a natural expansion. Like, it's not amazing, but it's like not too difficult. I guess one of the things is that there's no like high ground or anything like that. It's pretty easy to get into the main, which is why a lot of people would probably think, hey, let's not grab the natural so early on. And instead go for like one base plays, as everyone on this map is currently doing so far. But yeah, so like I was saying, because of the wide open main, there's a lot of attack paths, surprisingly. There's like this, we have like this area over here. You can wall it off, but like it's not that hard. And then there's this part, and also this part that you have to wall off. And it's not in a high grounded location or anything like that, so that is really interesting. So contrary to what I thought, it's going to be actually a 1 den at home and 1 den proxy for Python, so it's going to be a 2 den with that bScherm proxy werewolf, which I did assume. It's going to be something similar on the other side of the map over here. itzJ with a 2 den of his own, so that's going to be really interesting, and elbarto going for a 1 rax probably expand. Probably 2 raiders. Python's going to come in and see that it is indeed a 2 den, so that is some valuable information to have. itzJ not quite sending his wolves across the map just yet, just scouting around a little bit just to see what's going on. This wolf is going to come in and confirm that it is a 1 rax, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. These wolves just scouting around. This werewolf's den has not been scouted. It is approximately, I'd say, 95% done. This wolf does see this proxy den, so I feel like you could possibly go in and attack that. Where is the first raider? Here it is. It did use a flash, not sure what it tried to do. I don't see. Maybe he got a hit off of this wolf, but maybe not the best. And itzJ, having scouted this proxy location, is going to try to take it down, if I'm not mistaken. Rhymed, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. elbarto going to go for a castle as well, so not as well, I guess just a castle straight up. Nice flash over there to try to block a little bit of that movement. elbarto with some nice Sim City over here as well. And this proxy then is going to probably get destroyed. itzJ did go into the main, I think. Didn't quite go deep enough to see that there was something suspicious afoot, which is not ideal. Obviously, you want to go further and further just to confirm. I guess the fact that they know that it is a 1 base play for both players is actually very valuable. And I'd assume that this is going to be a watchtower that's going to be tucked into there. There it is. However, this werewolf is already on its way, and that's going to be pretty difficult to counter here. We do have 3 raiders here. Excellent against werewolves, pretty much ignoring that bonus arm. But so far, not the best control, but it's passable for sure. What you want to do is, once the werewolf smashes, they can't smash for a limited time, so that's a perfect time to get a little bit of a surround. This werewolf coming in, going to try to deny this tower. We have a little bit of a wolf counterattack, but it looks like that's going to be stopped adequately with the workers wall as well. Elbarto has not yet lost a single raider, which is good, but itzJ needs to, I guess, pull some wolves or pull some workers to defend this. This werewolf is obviously king right now. These wolves trying to do a little bit of damage, but with a plus 4 armor, these wolves are basically doing just less than half, or just over half of the damage. It's going to try to smash. That's a big smash, but this means that this is an opportunity to get a surround on it. But the second werewolf is here. There is a watchtower on Albarto's natural. That's probably not going to be enough. He needs to use his workers once the smash is done, but that's not going to happen over here. Huge smash over here, doing damage to two of these wolves, and also lose a raider. 2 raiders fall, so only down to 1 raider over here. Elbarto needs to move his workers all the way back over here. And like I said, this part is defended very well. So looks like this natural expansion for Team itzJ and Elbarto looking pretty dicey over here. This one werewolf is very close to falling, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. This watchtower is almost close to completion as well, but I don't know if that's going to complete. Ooh, barely, not quite. I want to say that's like 98% or something like that, and the workers aren't quite there. The raider does manages to take down one of the werewolves, but that means there's going to be additional werewolves coming up as well, so even though the number was shrunk by 1, it's still going to go up as more werewolves continue to rally across the map, and this werewolf is going to take down these wolves that were working on the itzJ did transition into a werewolf's den of his own, so he's eventually going to try to combat that, werewolf mano a mano, fight fire with fire. But that looks like it's not going to be ready in time, because more and more werewolves are just streaming across the map. Both Python and Python and bScherm still on just that one base. Good flash away over there. Yeah, itzJ needs to go back to the safety of his towers for sure, and but this is actually a pretty, it's not a bad hold. It's like not amazing, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. This werewolf does come in from itzJ and try to start warding these units away, and I'd say that itzJ and Elbarto are kind of past the worst of things. I mean, it's obviously not good that itzJ does not have enough money to create another werewolf, which is going to be huge. So, and itzJ and bScherm very smartly going to try down the werewolf stand. However, one thing is that you can tell that there's no werewolf producing just because there's no lights going off. That's a bit of a mistake over there by Elbarto. Gonna lose a raider for free, trying to do some extra damage. Elbarto gonna try to tower up his main base as well here. So I think that's a smart decision. We would have preferred to see it a little bit in a better location SimCity-wise, but itzJ is basically down to a tower energy, and I don't think that's going to be enough. More wolves coming in from Python. I think that smash was used on this werewolf, which means it is going to fall and itzJ is basically down to nothing. This tower is going to try to do a little bit more damage to the main werewolf, and itzJ's down to 5 workers. This is not good. And just continuous werewolf production. And Python, this is not 100% an all-in. Gonna try to take a natural base and probably succeed, as there's nothing much going on this side of the map in terms of counterattack. Good smash over here, predicting the werewolf, and GG is called. itzJ and Elbarto tap out after getting cheesed, and game 1 goes to bScherm and Python. Very nice game over here. I feel like one of the things that happened that could have been a little bit better for itzJ and what's his name, Elbarto, is that they could have done a little bit better scouting. itzJ did have the wolves and was able to scout the wolves den in the bottom right hand side of Python. He also did send a wolf across the map, but that wolf didn't quite get enough information, in my opinion. Like, they did go into the main base, but they didn't quite see that there was. They saw that there was no natural, but then they could have done a little bit more, I think, scouting around the map in the top left side, or just double confirming into the back of their base to make sure there wasn't anything really weird. So that's a little bit unfortunate for sure. I think they did have a pretty, solid hold overall, but not the best. Yeah, which is a little bit unfortunate for sure. Definitely could have done that a little bit better. Second map probably looks like it's gonna be Queen's Garden, as we are in the lobby. I believe this map was created by Epic fans. Not 100% sure, to be fair, to be honest, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. Yep, Epic Pants. City of Perils instead. Okay. Um, that's I'm not sure how the ban system worked. Maybe they've already banned it, or looks like they're kind of telling it in the chat right now. Maybe. Not exactly sure. I guess one thing that's really interesting in 2v2 is that because you can have both players focus on one player, cheeses tend to be pretty strong, especially because it's going to be essentially a 2v1. And it, like, let's say, I don't know, you play something really greedy, you go for a, like a fast expand or something, right? Normally, if you fast expand versus a cheese, it's just a 1v1 and you can do it, maybe. But things get all out of whack if you have another player also cheesing you. So you're basically forced to defend 1v2. Yes, your partner can try to come and defend and try to do something along those lines, but generally that doesn't happen very well. So a lot of the times it's generally just cheese being really strong in the 2v2 because you're able to focus down one target and you know it's kind of what it is. I'm just leading, doing a little bit of moderation over here. Okay, fourth and they're talking about second and fifth, so looks like we are gonna try to do a best of five rather than a best of three that was mentioned in the lobby chat previous to this. So, okay, we're back to Queen's Garden then. Queen's Garden is surprisingly a pretty narrow map compared to how big it is, 140 by 140. Like the natural and the third, you can kind of like interchange because there's two different ways. But at the same time, the paths in general are pretty narrow, and generally that sort of thing lends itself to mech play. So we'll see how that goes. I was very, out of the blue. They were like, "Hey, do you want to cast this?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And it was not exactly something that was planned. I believe someone else, like Nigeto Itana, was actually supposed to cast. But, anyways, we've hopped into game number 2. Spawning in the top side of the map. It's gonna be. Oh, okay. The teams are messed up, so we're gonna have to redo that. A little bit of a mistake, but that's okay. We'll do the intro all over again, and we're gonna pretend like nothing happened. One of the things that Daz did coordinate with all the maps in the map pool was that the teams are going to be essentially the same color throughout the game. So it's going to be 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 on the same team. But looks like we messed it up this time. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that. So we want to see bScherm and Python. Yep, and it's itzJ and elbarto. Alright. Try number 2. What is this like 6 beast but with the 6? I don't know. Alright. Hopping into Queen's Garden for real this time. For game number 2. Looks like Worker's gonna be heading straight out immediately. Spawning in the top side of the map, it's going to be bScherm and Python up 1 game to none. And in the bottom side of the map, it's going to be down 1 map, itzJ and elbarto. So more proxies incoming. Looks like a worker from both bScherm and Python gonna go over here. These workers are gonna say hi and cross each other. Okay, itzJ does see it and does pull his worker back. Yeah, so the fact that they just crossed each other meant that either one or both players were just what's it called, using the mineral walking trick just to go across the map. I don't know if we'll actually see a lot of proxies because this has been scouted. This second worker has not been scouted, so that is going to be a potential surprise. It's going to be a wolves den over here. One thing I don't like about this placement is I believe if you misrally the wolves, they might get stuck in here, so something to watch out. We do have a Rax for our blue player itzJ. That's going to be over here at this natural, so this is probably the natural that he's going to take. And we have Raxes from bScherm and also elbarto as well. So a lot of Rax play this time. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. This is going to be that 1 den away, 1 den at home, 2 den, like we saw last game from Python. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the players here. So Python is someone played a lot a while back. I want to say like 2019, 2020-ish. Was primarily a beast player. It looks like he still is primarily a beast player at the moment as well. So yeah, that's kind of what who Python is. One of the, I guess, user-friendly programming languages out there. It's pretty forgiving. There's a lot of APIs and stuff that you can really use. Well, not APIs, libraries. Yeah, okay. And then we have bScherm. bScherm also gonna go for a 2 racks. Looks like archers. This is pretty much the build that I and Consciously Eating used in Game 5. But yeah, bScherm is also a pretty solid player. Like, it does favor racks or mech play. I haven't seen him play beast that much, if at all. So that's something to note. itzJ, also a pretty solid player. Definitely started out much more as a Rax player, but these days, I guess not these days, but like somewhat recently, I want to say in the past like year and a half, has been trying to branch out into the beast play as well. And elbarto is through and through a Rax player, part of the 6 Rax clan, I think, that Weird Rat made. So that's something very interesting. We have this archer going to try to come out and ward this raider away. I feel like itzJ could have been a little bit more aggressive with this and tried to get a, I like that use of the high ground over there. Try to get a little bit of a, I guess a little bit of free damage. Nice flash trying to get that down as well. This is actually very valuable information out of that itzJ is gleaning. This one archer moving across the map by itself is not going to be very threatening at all. It's going to be taken down pretty easily by these raiders, and that's a pretty big pick-off, and these wolves will actually never catch this raider, so this is actually a very good hold so far, especially because bScherm didn't wait for 2 or 3. Generally you want to wait for 3-ish archers before moving across the map, but was a little bit ahead of themselves here. So elbarto gonna take a natural, and itzJ is doing the same, albeit a little bit delayed. So far, pretty good defense. We do need to see how they defend. Ooh, that raider could have definitely been trapped by Python's wolves there. A little bit of a mistake there. Definitely could have gotten that. And this raider is actually very close to dying. It's 1 shot away. Was at 0 health, but actually it's not 0 health because of how the float system works. Losing another raider too. So that's 2 raiders so far going down onto the side of itzJ and elbarto, which is not ideal. After that initial really good start, things are looking not so good. itzJ also has cut unit production over here in lieu of a faster wolves den, but that means there's going to be less units to defend this. Just 2 raiders for both itzJ and elbarto. Going to try to get up their second production structures out first, but is not quite aware that this is actually some sort of all-in, it seems like. These 3 archers going to try to come back and defend, but honestly, I don't think this is something that itzJ wants to do. These archers going to try to cut off the retreat path. That's a big catch if he gets both of these these archers. Gonna try to split the shots. I think would have been better to focus them down one by one. That splitting shots does cost a little bit of damage, I feel like. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty difficult hold with these when these archers come. However, right now, these wolves by themselves aren't quite as scary. This barracks going down will be huge because that means less production for sure, and itzJ is only going to be able to produce wolves. I wouldn't mind even canceling this castle, actually, after seeing the 2 racks and just going for a tower, but looks like they're not going to use it. But that story may change when these additional archers come into play. Looks like there's a big handful, I want to say. Looks like 9 archers coming in, and with the wolves as buffer, these raiders are in serious trouble here. What do they have? They have a catapult on the way. They have additional dens on the way. They don't really have anything on the ground to contend with this. With the archer here, you want to probably target down the weakened archers. Unable to do so here. You want to put those workers away. You want to probably just gather up a whole bunch of workers and try to fight this, you know, in a surround with the workers. But going in separately like this is not the key. elbarto losing another raider and another raider. Yeah, this is looking very dire here. elbarto did go for a advanced workshop. I want to say this is definitely a mistake after seeing what the opposing player had, the opposing team had in mind. We have that natural expansion having gone up for Python, but bScherm is still solidly on 1 base. Yeah, there's not much that they can do. Gonna pull the workers now. Probably wanted to pull those a little bit later, or earlier, excuse me. This catapult needs to target down the archers, but is barely gonna get taken down. So that's a big kickoff. No backward catapult over here, and these workers are falling one by one with some good micro out of bScherm. This is looking very dire. itzJ is only going to be able to bring wolves 2 by 2 across into this defensive position, but it's not looking very good. One thing is that this catapult, if it lands some huge shots, then you know that might be a way to get back into it, but things are looking very dire. We do have that airship, which means the added micro ability of this catapult, so that is going to be pretty big. You definitely, like I said, you want to be targeting down these archers with the catapult. You don't want to be wasting shots on these wolves and missing, or even worse, hitting your own units, something like that. Oh, that airship needs to be careful. Its back goes down, that's huge. It does go down, and that means these catapults are dead and basically stranded. They're not going to be able to escape very well. These wolves are going to try to target down this catapult, which is an excellent decision. These wolves, you know, they don't have that, or these catapults don't have that buffer. These workers trying to repair this catapult, trying to do their best. But yeah, itzJ is down to 8 workers, which is not ideal for sure. And there's just a lot of units. These catapults don't want to be shooting too much over here. You might do a little bit of friendly fire, but so far not too bad. itzJ down to just 40 minerals, which means they really don't have anything. That airship going down was absolutely huge. Definitely could have used that in this fight just for that maneuverability, but looks like that's not going to happen. There's that second airship coming up, which is good, but might be a little too late. At the same time, though, bScherm has not created a natural base, so he is still completely all in with this. It does have 1400, which is a lot more than itzJ does. itzJ only having 6, it looks like. So looks like this is going to be a rotation into the natural base of elbarto, but this is an excellent fortified position. I don't think they're going to get much done unless elbarto. Oh no, elbarto, he's going to walk. That's a huge pickoff. That's a huge mistake. Going to lose an airship with 2 catapults in it absolutely for free. Going to try to take down, build a tower, but I don't think that's going to work. Maybe you want to put your catapults over here so that they defend. Okay, there we go. Nice target fire out of bScherm. Going to try to target down that tower that was trying to be built. But yeah, this is obviously not ideal. Losing that first airship, thankfully with nothing in it, was a disaster, but losing that second airship with the catapults in it was an even worse catastrophe. So, honestly, bScherm and Python could just go in and finish the game if I'm not mistaken, but they are going to opt to play a little bit more safe. They're going to opt to play, you know, don't overdo things. Don't try to force a win, but rather just try to macro up. Python getting his third base. Looks like bScherm with that worker going to try to take a natural at the same time. One thing I do want to note is that through all of this, itzJ did keep his second castle alive, which means that eventually the worker production will get him up to a more standard, or not standard, but like a better worker count than before. 8 is obviously still approximately half of 18 here, but this is also a pretty big rotation out of bScherm, going all the way around the map to try to attack elbarto in the back. These catapults are going to try to come back and defend, and you probably want to pull those workers across, right? We do have a catadrop going across the map at the same time trying to do some damage. itzJ doesn't really have much to try to defend. He's going to try to target down this wolf stand, but looks like that's not happening very well either. A little bit of derping over here with that second catapult because of reasons. This is very nice out of bScherm, using one archer, as I said that he was using one archer to try to bait shots. elbarto, if he A moves, he's going to try to, they're going to auto-target on the closest unit. Let's see how this catadrop is doing. We do have a ballista out, for bScherm, which means that this does have a limited amount of time opportunity to do some damage. So these archers in this airship going to try to target that down, and that's another airship going down from elbarto. That is pretty big. These catapults still need to try to do some damage. The main castle of elbarto does go down, so elbarto is back to one base as well, and that is another catapult falling at home as well. Not very good. I want to be careful of the friendly fire over there. So one of these things with Beast and Mech is that it can be anti-synergetic. I don't know if that's a word. It could be some anti-synergy, just because there's that friendly fire aspect if the opposing player just kites back, you know. But with these wolves coming in for Python, did a little bit of bloody blocking with the archers. Looks like these archers are going to be able to escape freely. bScherm was able to get a natural up while this was going on. Looks like did lose a few workers, only just one actually, so that's actually not that bad. But itzJ has climbed back, producing those workers. Macro God here, going back up to 14 workers, which is equivalent to bScherm's 14 at the moment. So we're at a bit of a, better place than it was. I guess I do want to go back to that decision of just retreating when they actually probably could have just walked off this ramp and won the game from there. But I guess this is a bit more of a conservative play. I'm going to try to play a little bit more of a longer game. I do want to note that there are double upgrades coming in for our Beast player Python. Double plus attack upgrades, which means that these wolves and these snakes are going to do a ton of damage. Additionally, a Dragon Slayer coming in at the same time. So that's going to be a lot of infrastructure, a lot of scary units going to happen in the next, I'd say, a minute or a half. Looks like these archers rotated onto the other side, did a little bit of damage, but itzJ gonna try to defend with these wolves. I feel like this, what's it called, this infrastructure and the building placement from itzJ did not work very well as he intended. Kind of worked against him actually, trapping all of his wolves in this choke point. So not ideal. This house probably should have been somewhere else. Python's gonna come in with some more, ooh, that was a very nice trap by Python. Yeah, so excellent trap with these wolves. These archers, unfortunately, weren't quite shooting during that entire time, so that's not going to be as good of a trade as before. We have a catadrop coming in from elbarto in the top right side of the map. Python doesn't lose a single worker so far, and is going to be able to defend that with the workers, which is very nice. But this push is really pretty scary. I would like to see these catapults coming into defense, to assist in the defense of itzJ's base, but looks like elbarto's a little bit too busy trying to do some damage. bScherm coming in with the ballista to try to shut this down, and that's going to be, what is this, the 5th airship that's going down, I want to say? No, that's the 4th. So still, that's a lot of airships going down, especially the first couple of ones just to archers, which is not ideal. These catapults do finally try to manage their, squirm their way or walk their way over to try to defend. We do have this werewolf, which is going to be huge, but there's that friendly fire coming into play. very careful with that. These catapults might end up doing more harm than good, actually. But it looks like itzJ's natural base is pretty much forfeit. itzJ was climbing up steadily in that worker count, has gone down all the way to 11 again, and now both players are significantly behind of the counterparts here. This castle looks like it's going to be targeted down. That's going to be a snipe, and itzJ's down to one mining base. Even that base isn't very healthy at all. bScherm taking a third base of his own. Going to go up in economy here. I like this scout over here by itzJ, going to confirm the third base. But really, there isn't anything really to defend these dragons and these upgraded beast units. They did scout that, so there is a steady ballista production over here. But they scouted it with the catadrop, if you don't remember. But yeah, so this is going to be their hope to defend the triple dragon layer dragons coming up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. These werewolves are able to push this army back a little bit, which is good. Going to try to regain a little bit of space over here and try to take his natural yet again. At the same time, it looks like, okay, I thought that was a base, but I did not see that correctly on the mini-map. My apologies. But yeah, definitely over here, Python and bScherm in a significantly huge advantage at the moment. They've definitely got the better end of the early game, and as you can see, that 2v2's, I guess, universal truth of cheesing is always good, showing its merits over here. We have a bit of a push coming out of elbarto with just pure catapults. The issue with pure catapults, you don't really have anything to deal with stuff like wolves or stuff like if they get on top of your army, it's really hard for you to deal with it, and you need some like Gatling guns just for some zoning, for that additional, what's it called, slow field. Ooh, you want to be careful with that. You're gonna so much friendly fire. That is absolutely huge. These workers, only one of them did go down, but that is, these workers being just 1 HP is actually really big. itzJ did establish their main, or their natural again, but I don't know if that's going to be, he's basically kind of out of the game at the moment. These werewolves are trying to come in and do a little bit of damage, but these dragons are more than up to the task. In the air. We're going to see how this, another thing about this is that if you have, oh my goodness, more workers going down, there's a bit of a flank with the wolves too. I feel like he could have definitely committed, but just taking it out with these reinforcements is good enough as well. But yeah, that's the issue with the not having any Gatling guns. If you go pure kata, you just don't have anything in the front line. You don't want to be sending these workers out in front either, or they're just going to be taken down. So that means no more repair available for this mech army. It's just going to be pure catapults. Yeah, and they're not really spread out very well either. Python could have split his units a little bit better when engaging this, but not going to do so. Actually going to try to target down these ballista. If you hold position, okay, generally you want to hold position your ballista so that your catapults don't miss. But yeah, this is going to be a very difficult fight. If these dragons just target down the ballista, it's going to be basically, there's no anti over here. elbarto looks like was trying to send some workers to repair or something. We do have some Gatling guns, but these Gatling guns are a little bit too late to the party, and that means this entire mech army is completely decimated. Not ideal, of course. And this push that potentially could have changed things does not work out. That also means that just this upgrade lead for Python is just going to spiral out of control, right? So this push, if it did more damage, if it like maybe took down a base completely, or took down some dragon slayers as well, then maybe they would have been a little bit better into it. But right now, no upgrades on the side of elbarto and itzJ, whereas these base soon to be +5, right now just +4 attack is absolutely huge. Losing another ballista is actually huge as well. Definitely could have tried to target down one of these dragons before dying, but unfortunately that is not the case. I feel like they could have done a little bit better job of responding to the dragons. Yes, it's really difficult when you're so far behind you to cut some corners, or you're able to cut some corners, but that's really unfortunate. At the same time, we have bScherm going to try to push into itzJ's side of the map. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult. A ton of workers going down over here for elbarto as well. Some additional racks of reinforcements on the ground just to keep this army not too heavily focused on air. devastating. GG is called as the left-hand side falls as well. elbarto and itzJ gonna lose game 2. Things are looking very dire. Some well played though. Some excellent movements or decision making out of bScherm and Python here, doing a little bit of a early cheese again. One of the things is that if you do take your natural expansions on the sides, then you have a lot more time for you to just go across the map and help your partner. And just losing those airships was absolutely huge for elbarto. So GG is called, and bScherm and Python up 2-0. Definitely a bit of a one-sided match, but I don't think it has to be this way because itzJ and elbarto, I feel like if they didn't make some critical mistakes, they definitely would have had the hold. I feel like the early game was pretty good actually, initially, where itzJ took some good fights on the left-hand side of the map. But then after that, they lost 2 raiders for free, which is not good. I don't think they responded correctly to the incoming one base all-in that they scouted. So things obviously not ideal for sure. But we are going to head into game number 3 on Ritual. Just want to check that the recording is still going. Good. I believe there was a time when I was streaming and I accidentally muted myself in the middle of the stream and I didn't notice until the game was over, which was really unfortunate for sure. Alright, bScherm is able to pick. So that last map, Queen's Garden, was actually itzJ and elbarto's pick, and that did not end up working for them, unfortunately. It is going to be, looks like, a City of Perils for our third map, mapped by Dragon Archer Z. This is probably one of the more standard maps in the map pool. I'd say probably the most standard map in the map pool for the Paradise series. There's a lot of crazy maps out there, Alright, hopping into game number 3. In the top left side of the map, it's bScherm and Python up 2-0 with some creative, well not creative, but some solid cheeses, good game plans, and just aggressive play. And in the bottom right hand side of the map, it's down 2 maps. Can they pull it back on a opposing map choice? It's going to be itzJ and elbarto. So what are they going to do to combat this sort of aggressive play? You've seen the aggressive play 2 times out of 3, or 2 times out of 2, excuse me. This is the third map. Are they going to try to do something aggressive of their own? Are they going to try to do something, I don't know, extra safe, like tower up blindly kind of thing? We're going to have to find out. bScherm not building a house, which means probably going to be a castle first, so we're going to switch things up. Honestly, I wouldn't mind one player just going for a worker scout in the 2v2 games, just because it's less of an investment, because you're only sending, instead of like 1 out of 10 workers going across the map, it's going to be 1 out of 20. So it actually costs less in a 2v2 just to do an early scout, kind of. elbarto and itzJ saying, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. It's going to be 2-10 from elbarto, and itzJ going to go for, so far, just a workshop. I want to say this is probably going to be the gyro build that Weirdrat really likes in 2v2 play. 1 base gyros into a natural. I do want to say that I don't think this is the optimal building placement for this, but actually I might be wrong, because you can probably put a castle here, and this is a bigger wall than just a straight up and down wall, so I don't mind that actually. I think it works out. I trust itzJ. Yeah, that seems pretty good actually. Yeah, so bScherm gonna go for that castle first. Excellent, using the image of the previous games to go for something a little bit risky, but at the same time, it's a calculated risk just because they've been very aggressive recently. Python gonna go for a single one den expand, seems like. So that's gonna be a little bit of a, I guess, definitely a change in attitude. bScherm gonna go for a den opening. I guess you kind of are forced to go into a den opening if you're playing with the castle first, just because den is cheaper, builds a little bit quicker, that sort of thing. This wolf is going to go around. Looks like it's going to try to scout for proxies. This wolf of elbarto coming in. Doesn't get the natural base timing. Very nice. And itzJ going to go for just a straight up natural base instead of that gyro build. So I was mistaken, but I think this is pretty fine. I do want to see, you know, this better. Maybe you can do a little bit better if you put like workshop here, castle here, house like here or here, so that you only have a 2 space for your Gatling gun. Maybe. I don't know. So I wonder if this is actually a little bit scary for Python. His natural is being delayed somewhat significantly. I guess with the additional wolves over here, they're gonna be able to allow Python to go for this natural. He wants to send a worker down. I'm not sure why he's not doing that at the moment. He's going to rectify that mistake as I say that. What are these? Okay. I heard some shots and I was like, what are they shooting at? Just a scouting wolf. I do want to say this sort of half and half approach of one player being somewhat standard, one player being aggressive, probably would have worked a little bit better in last game, actually, instead of most players trying to go for that quote-unquote standard expansion timing. But we're in this game instead, so we'll see how this one goes. Could have probably tried to take that wolf down as it was separated. Not going to be able to do so. A couple of workers coming in along with the Gatlings for that repair. So it looks like this is going to be a pretty significant push. I do want to note once again that bScherm and Python don't have the number of volts that they normally would have because of the castle first and because of the one den into later. And Python actually cancelling that. I feel like you didn't need to cancel that, especially if you know, some workers are trying to defend. But things are looking really good over here for itzJ and elbarto. You know, a bit of a counter cheese for sure. This watchtower is never gonna be good, honestly. And here's that big pull. Yeah, so I feel like you really didn't need to cancel this just because you could have just done this earlier and it would be totally fine. A little bit of miss micro, I feel like, out of elbarto getting his hold on the surrounding and just trying to get away, which is not ideal. This he also probably could have put his watchtower in a better location, you know, top so that there's less surface area, excuse me. Good hold position there out of Python. So it looks like this is going to be a hold for sure. Yes, there are some Gatling guns still here with repair, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The front line of the wolves has gone down, which means that's going to be basically it for this push. Yeah, Python definitely didn't need to cancel that natural base, so it's definitely a bit of a mistake. There is no follow-up so far out of elbarto, so there's nothing like, I don't know, a natural or something that, I mean, Blah Blah did was go for a fortress off of this 2-10 sort of play, so that's not happening. Another this is pretty sloppy. Another Gatling gun from itzJ just going to be surrounded and picked off just like that. Not ideal for sure. And it looks like there's just too many wolves on the ground for elbarto to deal with. What does itzJ have back at home? He has a single catapult, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Ooh, I do like this though. This workshop, which means that you can probably park the catapult over here and make that a full wall. These walls of elbarto being cut off in the middle of the map as well. Good SimCity over here putting that tower, but that is not ideal. You generally want to be expanded because your opponents are expanding as well. So basically it's going to come down to, looks like a catapult later on to see if that's going to be able to do some damage. And elbarto's wolves, ooh, going to get surrounded here. It's 2 wolves down for 3, not too good, not too good. These wolves going to try to park themselves a little bit. I'd say that you want to back a little so that some of these, yeah, exactly, ooh, a little bit of friendly fire there. That's going to be wonderful. Elbarto going down another wall, make that 2 more. 2 too much friendly fire, and this is what I was talking about in the previous game, or game 1 actually. No, game 2. Yeah, the previous game, where Wolf and Mech is generally not the best combo because of that potential for friendly fire damage with the catapults and wolves. We do have double Dragon Slayer coming in from bScherm this time, not Python. And we also have this catadrop potential coming out with this airship and these two. It's rally to these two catapults, so they do want to get rid of this first, I believe. Elbarto not doing the best control so far. I like that whole position so that his units don't get dragged into the catapult shots. So well done. Ooh, that's pretty risky with the Gatling gun. Yep, has to pull that back. And here comes that catadrop. The Dragon Slayer's not quite ready. The Dragons, obviously, because of that, not quite ready as well. So that means for the next, I'd say, 45 seconds to a minute, there's a huge opportunity window for itzJ to do significant damage with the catadrops, and that's basically required as they're behind in many aspects right now. Elbarto's natural base is not quite done. It's only about halfway done, whereas bScherm plus Python, their natural has been done. Also, itzJ does need to scout that this is a Dragon's Lair. He's going to see that right now, and hopefully... Actually, did they not see it? Okay, did see it, and is immediately gonna run away, it seems like. I'm gonna try to actually chase down these workers. So far, not too many kills. 3 workers and looks like 2 workers, but I'm not sure if that was from the early game or so far right now. Yeah, so itzJ looks like gonna try to do a little bit of damage over here. That's gonna be let's just check. 3 plus, I didn't check the other one. 3 plus 1 is 4 worker kills, 2 more workers going down. So not a bad start, but they definitely need to get out of here because the dragons are here, and that means that the longevity of this drop is non-existent at the moment. Probably looks like they're going to try to sacrifice it to do a little bit more damage. Definitely a risky play, but at the same time it's a pretty big map. I don't know if that would have been able to get back home at the same time. bScherm going to take a hidden third base in the bottom left-hand side of the map, whereas Python taking the more standard base in his third base location. At the same time, Elbarto was able to complete his natural base, which is good, and things are looking a little bit better. This is a pretty big fight or a push over here with these Gatling Slayers, but there's nothing to do with these dragons, which means that eventually these dragons are going to clean this up no matter what. I do like these caltrops over here, and you definitely want to try to use them to take back. There you go. But there's nothing to do with these dragons. So this is kind of similar to that last game where they tried to fight into a dragon player when the dragons were out with little to no end here. Last game, Elbarto did have a few ballista, which was good, but in this case, there's absolutely no anti-air, which means that this push is going to be shut down, basically just like that. We do have itzJ looks like trying to take down this wall. I'm going to take this as our third base. We do have a single ballista out so far for itzJ, second one on the way as well. Elbarto going to try to go into that dragon versus dragon fight off of just 2 bases, but bScherm does have this hidden third base. Ooh, is this going to be scouted? This is an excellent scout. Excellent read, or I guess lucky perhaps, out of itzJ. Gonna see these workers transferring, gonna deduce that there is a hidden base in the bottom left-hand side, but that means that these, if these dragons go and shut that down, it's gonna be basically over, I believe. Yes, it's good to deny the space, but you're probably gonna lose a drop for it. This itzJ ballista drop gonna come in to try to defend this, but there are no workers in that airship, which means that it's probably just gonna go down straight away. Gatling gun gonna fall as well. Yeah, so there's only one ballista here, no workers for repair, which means that this ballista is gonna essentially get shut down immediately. You generally want to target down the airship first, and then come back with the ballista later. But yeah, that's exactly what they do. That catapult comes down as well. So this is obviously not ideal. So Python, just macroing up, it seems like. And bScherm is able to defend this, it looks like. These wolves going to come in, but once again, they're just going to go down to all these dragons. There's nothing to defend against them at the moment. And having lost that airship, it means that there's no mobility for these ballista. So not going to be able to do too much damage with them, or shut down these dragons either. This dragon's going to try to come in and defend, or sorry, attack this side of the map, Elbarto's side of the map. This worker is going to come in and try to take the base, but it's not going to happen. And 2 dragons versus how many is this? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a good fight for sure. Going to have to try to retreat into where these ballista are. These ballista, do they have the? Yes, they do have the explosive shot. So we're going to do all that splash damage. The dragons rotating to the top side. Going to try to target down some workers. Going to try to get a few of them. Looks like they barely not get any of them. So. Not very good, but losing that airship once again is going to be a huge issue because that means they don't have, these ballistas don't have that mobility at all. Looks like Python is actually adding to the dragon count, or going to try to add to the dragon count with a dragon's lair of their own. But she did get this space pretty much secured, so that is pretty good. We have another Gatling gun attack squad. Once again, this is very risky to do because if these dragons just come in, that's just a free kill. There are no ballista to defend these. That means these Gatling guns are gonna go down free. Not what you want if you're itzJ. So yeah, not ideal for sure. At the same time, we do have a bit of a mech push. I feel like if this was coordinated a little bit better, if he moved out with all these units at the same time, it would have been much better. This airship gonna try to escape. These workers, are they going to repair the airship in time? No, it's not, unfortunately, and that means that airship is down once again. No mobility for these ballista once again. I'm going to try to target down this tower. I don't mind that. I think that's actually a very good move. itzJ probably could have targeted down that dragon if he had chosen to do so, but unable to do so. At the same time, elbarto looking to do a little bit of a counter-attack with his dragons on this side of the map, and there are a lot of workers going down here for itzJ. However, that's a nice explosive shot over there. A lot of significant damage. The worker pull, is it going to be a ride? Yes, it is. Kind of. Maybe? No. Okay, so one thing that itzJ did, he didn't pull his ballista back in time, I feel like. He kind of just let them attack and move forward even. So the workers around for the repair did not go off in time. These dragons from bScherm are going to try to rotate into the bottom side, the main base of itzJ. itzJ has a lot of ballista, but they're just not, they don't have that mobility, like I said. The airships being completely shut down with these dragons gonna be very significant. Elbarto looks like did some damage over here, probably killed a handful of workers, I want to say. Yeah, 6 workers it seems like. So that is, I want to say that's actually only 3 because of the previous slide. Oh, that could have been pretty huge with that friendly fire. These workers are going to try to repair these ballistas and keep them alive. And Python, these wolves probably has to move back. Yeah, good hold position out of itzJ here to keep these units alive. And maybe might be able to get a few more wolves with that Caltrops. Yep, and then these dragons for elbarto coming in. So elbarto was able to take the 3rd base, which is good. And they're kind of back into the game. This base for bScherm is not mining, so bScherm is going to be forced to take this base as their re-established 3rd base, essentially. I feel like, yeah, bScherm basically has given up this base and not even sending workers across, so this is just whatever, ignore it kind of thing. And itzJ and elbarto are pretty much back into it, you know, even though there was some hiccups with the airships and the ballista. So far, you know, the defense hasn't been stellar, but it's been good enough. And I feel like the red and green team have kind of over-made dragons, right? Dragons are really good, don't get me wrong, but if there's a significant amount of ballista, the dragons kind of just can't really take the fight. A little bit of a run by out of elbarto, trying to target down these workers. Excellent twist, does not quite target down that last worker. Definitely could have done that. But that is distracting this army, which allows itzJ's mech army here to get a bit of a better position. Looks like bScherm and Python gonna... No, okay, I was gonna say we were gonna go for a counterattack, but that does not look to be the case. How many ballista do we have? 5 ballista against however many dragons this is. Good splits. This is excellent splits over here. So we're going to try to mitigate as much friendly or splash damage as possible. But ballista are really good. Good surround off these walls on the bottom side, but I feel like they could have gone in from different sides at the same time. Elbarto's dragons are coming in a little bit too late to contribute to this fight, which means that it's basically a 2v1. And a 2v1, generally 2 is greater than 1. These dragons need to be doing a little bit better from this fire, but with, I don't know, with these, I guess, dragons coming in for Elbarto, it looks like maybe the tides might turn, but there's a lot of ground army that's just going to be left over no matter what, I think. Because there's just a bigger ground army, too many wolves for bScherm and Python over here. These dragons need to go down. I feel like as the last ballista falls, never mind the second last ballista, this is going to be the last ballista. How many dragons are there actually? There's 15 dragons, which is 15 at the same time. Make that 12. Can't math when you're on stream. This is streaming, but still. So it looks like actually Elbarto might be able to take control of the air. It's going to come down to target fire and pull back micro, but it looks like... Okay, they're definitely targeted out dragons here. Elbarto looks like it's a bit more of an aim, which I'm not a big fan of. But it's going to be very close. I think Elbarto kind of has it, but the reinforcements are a lot quicker over here for bScherm and Python. Not to mention the upgrades as well are in favor of Python. So looks like Elbarto forced to retreat. So yeah, that big push did not work out. However, at that time, while they were pushing, itzJ and Elbarto were able to get their 4th bases. So itzJ took this base, Elbarto has basically established this base as well. So despite the the push not working out as well as it could have, it still presented an opportunity for itzJ and Elbarto to take their bases. So this bit of a counterattack not quite doing the best. I would have preferred to see these towers actually in the backhand side so that you can hold position of workers and defend the towers a little bit better. Good pullback over here. And yeah, things are actually looking very good. This airship coming in with the ballista just to add just that weight to the air fight over here. No workers with this though, so that's really huge. Unfortunately, gonna have to pull back. It seems like Elbarto's dragons attacking the wolves, which is obviously not what you want to be doing. You want to try to get that air superiority. itzJ gonna wisely go back to try to repair that airship up, but Elbarto should not be fighting this. You want to be pulling back. One thing I do want to note is I feel like Elbarto's dragon fighter has not been quite on par with Python's or bScherm's. I feel like he's taking a few, just fewer fights that are good, and just more fights that are poor, not target firing as well, in my opinion. Also, being distracted by these wolves. I want to hold position over here to try to prevent that coming in, but not going to matter. We have some more ballistas coming in to turn the tides with the air battle, which is excellent. I want to try to get some Q fires off. That's a lot of dragons going down, so that was an excellent fight out of itzJ here. Gonna do a little bit of dropping and lifting, deadlifting his way to in the air fight over here. So an excellent ballista micro over here with airships. Might be able to target down 2 more dragons. Drop them. No, not quite. But now the tables have turned. If we look at the dragon count, it's, once again higher for Elbarto. So this is actually looking really good. bScherm did take a 4th base. Python not quite able to take a 4th base, and that main base is mined out, which means he needs to take a 4th base in the near future. itzJ trying to expand to the 5th, and so is Elbarto. So things are looking a lot better for this team now. Some excellent not excellent, but good enough defense against that initial dragons, and then some good fights with ballistas for sure. These ballistas are being targeted down with the wolves. Where are the dragons of Elbarto? Okay, no, they were right there, and I didn't see them for some reason. No workers here for the repair for itzJ, but I don't think that's gonna matter because there's just too many dragons, and these ballista also do too much in the dragon versus dragon war as well. And this ground army is actually superior now because all the wolves have gone down. They've been kind of let out over the past minute or so. These dragons trying to chase down the other dragons. You might not want to do that. You want to try to fight with your ballista if at all possible. And Python gonna try to take this base, but I don't know if they have enough money. Yeah, not quite. So yeah, this looks like an excellent turnaround for itzJ and Elbarto. GG, or single G is called bScherm. And that's going to be perhaps the beginning of the comeback for itzJ and elbarto with some excellent play, excellent fights in the later stages of the game. The early stages, not quite as much, but definitely catching Python and bScherm overcommitting into dragons and just winning them with superior ballistic count. So, excellent fight, and perhaps the beginning of a reverse sweep. Let's find out what's going to happen in game number 4 right after this. I need some water. I'll be right back. I want to make sure I didn't accidentally mute myself. Okay, there we go. Hmm. Alright. Hopping into game 4. We're on Triton. And the top side of the map, it's going to be Python and bScherm. And in the bottom right side, with a pretty good comeback last game if I do say so myself, it's going to be itzJ and elbarto. Triton 2v2 is a map which is a collaboration between Daz and Deathstroke, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty interesting map, if I do say so myself. Expanding, towards the middle of them, or towards the sides of the map and everything. Anyways, looks like Python and bScherm are saying, you know what? Let's go back to what worked in game 1 and 2. It's going to be, it looks like, some sort of proxy, some sort of aggressive play. We'll see what exactly it's going to be. At the same time, looks like itzJ and elbarto are going to play a little bit more defensively. I like this worker, actually, because there's potential for some sort of wacky tower rushes in the map, but that's not looking like the case at the moment. We have a den in the middle of the map, we have a racks in the middle of the map, and we'll see what's going to on. Elbarto looks like it's gonna go for a 2 den, just like he went for last game. Whereas itzJ also gonna go for a workshop expand, which he went for last game as well. Okay, so things are looking very similar for itzJ and elbarto from last game. Gonna say, hey, that's what we won with. Let's just do the same thing again. bScherm gonna go for a 2 racks and a 2 den from Python. So this is basically the build that Consciously Eating and I did on this map against Weird Rat and Holy. Yeah, archers, wolves, and basically the idea is you just kill someone on one side of the map. We'll see if itzJ and elbarto are going to be able to defend that, though. I would say they do have the tools to do so. We have the double wolf production as well as a pretty good wall over here, so we'll see if they're able to defend. This wolf, okay, for a second I thought some units were heading back and they were just the workers, so it's all good. So archers on the way for bScherm, I assume. Yep, more archers, and this is a good worker scout. I think this is actually a very smart worker scout, just being diligent. Elbarto is going to scout the other side of the map. This worker does see the archer, does see the wolf. I think they know what's up. They need a tower immediately, and that's the worker going down for the tower. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Elbarto needs to pull those wolves to the other side. Tower over here. Yeah, I think actually that's probably the best place to put it. You want to put this over here. Catapult workers for the repair. This is so far going to be an excellent find. First blood, says bScherm. I don't know what he killed, but we can find out it's a worker for itzJ. Okay, that's gonna be fine. Elbarto targeting down the archer. That's very important as well. So far this is basically a perfect hold in my opinion, other than losing that worker. But like that's fine if you lose it. Good pullback out of elbarto with that wolf. Probably want to stop chasing here and just go back to the tower. Did cancel the tower. I don't know about that. That's very risky. Yes, he did get for a very good, had a very good start to this, but canceling the tower is definitely risky. But looks like they are very confident with this hold, but that might come back to bite them. Did go for a catapult. This catapult is not actually contributing to this fight at the moment, so it's going to be pretty risky. Good target fire out of Python trying to take down these workers. But at the same time, that means that elbarto and itzJ are going to be have the opportunity to target down these archers here. Gonna probably get that one and just probably just leave here. I'd say, yeah, you probably just want to leave here. I don't think you want to fight that. Yeah. This worker coming in to try to repair that, and yeah, this is actually a pretty solid hold. I think it could have been a little bit like after you right here. I don't think you chase. I think you just stay on this high ground and prevent them from coming up, sort of thing. I think that would have been a better play. I think they chased a little bit too far. And it was a little bit too risky. But you know what? I'm not gonna complain about that. We have a build on the way. Want to see a worker or two? Yeah, pulled for repair for these Gatling guns, and elbarto's looks like it's gonna be able to just escape with that, so that is great. So far this is pretty much a textbook defense of this cheese. Ooh, you wanna pull these workers up. Yep. And looks like bScherm and Python are going to rotate onto the other side of the map and try to get this. What I would have done with elbarto is try to split some of the wolves and try to get surround on these archers. Oh, that's a big opportunity. Oh no, I think you definitely commit into that. Yes, there are so many wolves, but I think just trying to get the archers here for the wolves would have been actually, for that range would have been actually huge. Hold position here. I don't think you hold position with wolves versus wolves. I don't think that really does too much. itzJ gonna come in and try to help out on this defense. This tower is very ambitious. I don't think you have the opportunity or the time to do this. So not ideal for sure. I would have liked to see some workers prepared, and as I say that, indeed they are coming. You want to be very careful with this friendly fire. itzJ probably wants to target down those archers. That's a good hit over there on the wolves. I want to probably target down that archer if I'm missing. Yep. Good. Excellent. This whole deserves a round of applause. This is very well done. Let's see what the follow-up is for Python and bScherm. So bScherm is still just producing work yeah, just not producing anything other than these archers. Only 8 archers, so I mean 8 workers, which is not ideal. That yeah, is just far behind everyone else on the worker count. And then Python is actually going to go for an advanced workshop. Probably wants to drop into the main, or maybe have they seen the mill? Is that what's going on? Team 2. Nope, Team 1. No, they haven't seen the mill. So that is actually, if that is, I guess that is just a good read because it is mech, and generally they go for catarupts and or mill, right, gyros. In this case, this is going to be that mill. I guess one thing that itzJ was counting on was that, where are the wolves? Okay, there are the wolves. One thing that itzJ was counting on was probably having that tower in vision, quote unquote, being very good. But this is a 2v1 fight because these wolves are out of position for elbarto. This is an excellent fight because it's just 2v1, right? I feel like itzJ could have left some of these the Gatling that's in the wall instead of pulling them back. And that is causing a bit of an issue here because these wolves were able to get in. elbarto is doing that play over here, but I don't think it's necessary at the moment. He needs to be fighting these wolves right now. What was initially a huge wolf, an excellent wolf, is turning into a bit of a huge mistake. I think I would definitely keep fighting with these workers. I don't think these wolves are quite enough, but looks like they are actually going to be barely enough. Especially with this catapult coming in, should be fine. Target fire over here. Barely unable to get that. Good try over here. Out of itzJ. So ends up being okay, I guess. Worst thing, the initial start of the fight was absolutely horrendous, but able to turn that around. Definitely could have done a lot better, but they're still alive, which is what matters. Let's see what the gyros did on the other side of the map. Continue to do some damage. 3 kills over here, 0 kills over here, so that's a lot of damage. 4 kills, and denying this natural base at the same time. So this is actually doing a lot of damage. This ballista not quite out, only about halfway done as I speak. itzJ could probably rotate around to try to target down the bScherm side of things, but instead it's just going to leave. And things are looking really good. Excellent hold in the early game, and then the follow-up attack over here, while it was pretty scary, was able to be defended pretty well. And elbarto's transitioning into dragons, which is good. I'm going to try to use that mobility with the dragons to do a little bit of damage. And just going to find these buildings in the middle of the map with the gyros. Did lose one of them to some of these archers, so that 1 red HP, 1 hit point. Gyro did get taken down, but that's okay. I would like to see maybe an advanced workshop out of itzJ. Just for, you've seen the other team go for dragons so much last game. Might be a good idea. Maybe not. elbarto did turn. Yeah, I think he can fight that absolutely, especially if the wolves of Python aren't around. Then choose not. I'm gonna just try to target down these buildings instead, and I think that's actually not a bad move because that gives itzJ's units time to get back in and take a better fight. A little bit of lag over here. These gyros are going to try to do a little bit of damage, but there's already a tower in there, so that's not going to do too much. We're going to pull that back, hopefully. Going to do so, but a little bit too late. Yeah, a little bit too late. Going to lose a gyro for that, but that's okay. I like the Q fire on top of the ramp here, just to defend. I think that's pretty good. itzJ probably wants to expand in the near future. It does have that worker over there to try to do so. Well, at the same time, looks like bScherm's going to transition into a mech of his own. So yeah, things looking very good for itzJ and elbarto in this 4th map of the series. elbarto going to try to pull up a few dragons, it seems like, and hasn't rallied them across the map. And one thing that I would like to see elbarto do is kind of spread out a few more walls, right? Take an eye over here, just to see the 3rd base timings, instead of just having them all over here. But, that's a small little detail. itzJ is going to basically do that, fill that role with these gyros here. You're going to see that ballista airship going to come in and take down these gyros. you're gonna get a wolf for free and then probably just leave as soon as you see the airship. Yep. And itzJ gonna try to solidify this third base, which is good. Elbarto actually is not pulling up these. Oh, he has them rally to his main army. Okay. Generally, you want to have that in a separate hotkey, but actually, it does have it in a separate hotkey. It just has it rallied, it seems like. Okay, and then elbarto probably looks like is going to take a third base of his own. So things are looking very good for elbarto and itzJ at the moment. One thing I do want to note is that these Gatling guns aren't able to put down those caltrops because the advanced workshop is not done for itzJ. So that means these are going to be significantly weaker than they normally would be. Elbarto fighting on the left side, going to try to do a little bit of damage, whereas itzJ is pushing on the right hand side, so we'll see how that goes. You know, once again, I want to say that I think it's probably better if you consolidate your army and go in on one side, make it a 2v1 instead of fighting 1v1 on both sides. You know, just take as many advantages as you can get. Yeah, so these catapults being caught out of position a little bit, that is definitely unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world, I guess. They do have that tankiness, no upgrades so far. That does also mean that bScherm's army is out of position, which means elbarto's beast army is able to just pounce on the left-hand side. So this is actually very well done. I was saying that probably went in on both sides, or on one side with the entire army, but instead we're going to use this army as bait to try to do a little bit of damage. We want to see these wolves get in a little bit closer to a little bit more surface area. Not going to do that. These dragons should target down the workers that are trying to transfer over. Good take-up out of bScherm over here to try to disable this. But that looks like bScherm's natural is going to be forfeit. bScherm's going to try to pull back his Rax army to defend, but it looks like this natural is already ravaged at the moment. Elbarto did complete his third base, and itzJ is also still on third base, going to look into go into upgrades as we speak. Probably want to just leave here. A little bit unfortunate he did quite target down that workshop, but it's okay. It happens. You could have taken it. These gyros coming in and trying to do a little bit of damage. Okay, so it was attacking with 5, I think, originally, because 5 is a magic number to two-shot these workers with the gyrocraft, but did lose, looks like 2 of them, so yeah, things are looking very good. I would like to see maybe a rotation out of elbarto instead of just attacking up to this side multiple times. Maybe just come over here, take down this third base together with itzJ's army. itzJ gonna go into a whole bunch of gyros actually. It did go for that second mill earlier. No advanced workshop just yet, which means that these Gatling guns don't have that caltrop movement, which is ever so important, just for that zone. Gonna fight over here, but I don't think that's gonna be a very good fight. Some excellent SimCity over here out of bScherm and the whole position as well. These ballista gonna try to do some damage and take down these dragons, at least push them away. So that's very nice. At the same time, itzJ gonna try to target down this tower. Good bullet flanker out of itzJ with that gyrocraft over there. Probably want to do that with the other one though. I do like this though, because elbarto went over here, did see that second airship out of Python coming in to help defend against the dragons, which means that these gyros don't have any anti-air on the other side of the map. So they're able to take down that tower and try to target down some workers. Do want to escape out of the way from these airships, and that's exactly what he does. So itzJ and elbarto in commanding position, excuse me. Elbarto looks like gonna try to take this as the fourth base, and itzJ has this fourth base up on the way in the right hand side, and upgrades coming in for itzJ as well. I do want to see some upgrades out of elbarto though. Beast is a race that really benefits from upgrades. That's as I say that we have a bit of an attack. Yeah, so this is they're just kind of elbarto's kind of just trying to force his way through a brick wall. I mean, the first time that happened it went really well, and that was mostly because his army was sent over to this side of the map to help Python defend. But ever since that, elbarto's been taking less and less good fights. It does have some workers. I think this is just a straight up miss rally. Yeah, this is probably just a miss rally. Gonna transition into some workshops, which is, I think, a good idea for sure. The thing with these going for this mass gyrocraft sort of play is that you can really get completely destroyed with some explosive shots. Like dragons, you know, they get melted absolutely. Gyros even more so because of their lower health. Gyros only have 80, whereas dragons having 20 health. So huge discrepancy there. So this mech army of itzJ coming in, once again, I do want to say, you know, that Caltrops, advanced matchup for the Caltrops would be absolutely huge. A little bit of lag going on over here. I want to say that it's because of the auto repair function. It does happen occasionally. I'm going to try to reduce the lag by looking somewhere else, but it looks like that's not going to happen. We do have, it looks like, okay, we're going to have a pause because of the lag, supposedly. That is something that we need to fix. Okay. Yeah, I think honestly it's kind of over. You just end it and then move on. With good SimCity, but yeah, that's gonna be GG. So, the aggression not working out in Game 4. Have itzJ and elbarto found an answer? Are they bulletproof? We'll find out in Game 5. You should sign up for the global Littlewargame. Burger tastes nice. How'd you know it was a burger? Wait, what? Oh, okay. Python, get your burger. Okay, I'm confused. That's unfortunate. Who is guest 484? Probably guest 484. Why would you check for it? Ooh, en passant. Ooh, that's a spicy map for the last map of the series. We're waiting for Python, who's getting his burger. All right. Banger series so far? Burger series so far. If I had to guess, I feel like I don't think anyone would be too aggressive on this map, I feel like. Maybe not, though. We'll have to find out. Two v two Cloud Kingdom. bScherm saying decision not final. I guess partially because Python isn't here, so you'd have to discuss and pick a different map potentially. The other map I think is Ritual, right? No, there's two other maps. Just a sec. Okay, I am back. Yeah, so it's gonna be Ritual or En Passant. So we'll see what map they pick. Okay, ritual it is. Not gonna be en passant. Bit more standard map. Not gonna see the crazy en passant. You know, I wouldn't have minded seeing it actually, but I guess if you're watching this, yes, that's true. I guess if you're watching this, if you want to sign up for the Global Littlewargame League, please feel free to do so. I guess I'm not sure when the signups will end, depending on when I upload this. It's gonna end on the end of this week. I believe I want to say it's the 29th or 28th. Yeah, 28th. So if you do want to sign up, please do. But anyways. Alright, map 5, the final match, or the final map of this match on Ritual. So we're not going to get en passant, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are. Okay, never mind, we're going to have a video. Lol. That's really unfortunate how that works out. Trying to see the opening. Lol. I guess when you move the players around, no, it should be fine, right? I guess they messed up the teams, anyways. Alright. The last match, the last map, but for real this time. I'm not sure why this thing is on the corner. That should fix it. There we go. In the top right hand side of the map, it's going to be elbarto and itzJ. Can they complete the comeback? Have they found the answer to all this aggressive play from their opponents? And the said opponent is going to be in the bottom left hand side, bScherm and Python. Alright, so Ritual is a pretty interesting map just because of these back potential paths into the main base. So you are able to break down these neutral workshops and get into the main. It does see play. And you can also flash a raider in actually because of the vision and how vision works. So that is also something to be aware of. And a lot of players like to just build a house over here just to keep an eye on it. elbarto doing a scout around. This is a little bit too early for the worker to come across, honestly. I feel like he could have waited maybe like 5 more seconds to do so. But anyways, that's a small thing, I think. Let's see what the plan is gonna be. Is bScherm and Python gonna go for that aggressive play again? Doesn't look like it. We have a workshop and a single wolf's den so far. We have Rex and Okay, 2 racks, or 2 diamonds, excuse me. Once again for elbarto. We'll see how it goes. Good series. I agree. It really looked like it was over at a 3-0 sweep, but not actually happening at the moment, which is good. Always good to have a third game or a series go into the distance. Not a third game, it's actually 5 games. It's the best of 5. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's not how you spell honorable, but that's okay. Are they gonna full wall this? I actually wouldn't mind a full wall. Like completely wall, and then you break down the side and go for the natural or the third base later on. I wouldn't mind that actually. We'll see if that's the way it goes. itzJ gonna go for an archer opening. It's pretty neutral, pretty I guess defensive in comparison with the raider opening. bScherm gonna go for a workshop expand, looks like. And it's basically going to come down to, did they miss each other? I think they did. Going to come down to who gets more value out of the 2 dens, but it's probably going to be approximately equivalent. This wolf going to scout that this castle is going up, which is exactly what you want to scout. Castle for itzJ going up at the same time. Good position over here. That's good. Maybe if you put the castle here, maybe you can do like a wall in like this or something. I'm not exactly sure. Gonna be a mill out of bScherm. This wolf looks like it's gonna sneak by just as itzJ's archers are walking across the map. itzJ's archers are gonna try to come back momentarily, but actually in that it just goes across the map. Okay, interesting. This is actually in a bad position for elbarto. Only one of his moves can attack two can attack for Python, so not good. Gonna rectify that mistake. You want to go forward and try to type that? Oh, come on. That was unfortunate. Here. This is just going to be taken down. itzJ's floating a lot of money here. I'm not sure what he's saving up for. He's going to go for a quick third, potentially? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. Why does this feel slow? Is it just me? This is 100% slower than it should be. This, did he accidentally pull his worker off? That is a mistake. That should not have happened. Yeah, okay. The issue with archers is that they're slower. They are definitely noticeably slower. And again, they're just gonna get trapped completely. elbarto gonna try to crank down these gaps, but that's not gonna happen. Excellent fight from bScherm and Python here. Gonna take an excellent fight. Look at the resources lost. That's gonna be only 90 resources lost to a combined, what is this? Almost 400. So, huge fight. Risky move out for sure, especially with archers against a faster moving army. You really need to know what you're doing. You need to know those interactions if you're going to do something like that. And also, not the best wolf micro out of elbarto as well, I feel like. So, yeah, so this is not good. We're looking very good, but at the same time, bScherm's castle was definitely later than it should have been, so that's also a slight misendeavor. Python also only now going for his castle. Definitely way far behind of elbarto. We do have this first gyro going to come out. Going to try to do a little bit of harassment on the other side of the map probably. Some good pushing out of itzJ, but that also means that these archers are going to be out of position again to defend against these gyros. So itzJ smartly playing back a little bit here. Probably in anticipation of some air threats out of the mech player. This gyro is into the main base of elbarto. It's probably archer here. Instead, it's going to go attack now. elbarto losing a wolf there for free as well. Not ideal. Yeah, things are not looking too good. This SimCity actually coming into play for the other team, where these archers, if they want to fight with the wolves all the way around, if they want to defend against the Starcraft, they also need to go all the way around as well. Okay, so what do we have going on in the future? We do have a tower coming for a while. I do want to say that's a little bit overkill in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that's really necessary. Oh, want to target down. Nice, good target fire out of itzJ here. So the question is, do you go for a catapult? Okay, this is definitely risky for this airship here. Number one, these gyros absolutely just shut it down. So going for a ballista is generally the best play. Number two, it's also very hard because this is just a very delayed counter drop, right? Because of itzJ going for that backfill instead of what's it called? A mech, straight up mech opening. So this is going to be slower than it actually is, normally would be. The one good thing is that this has not been scouted yet, so I do want to see bScherm just fly into the main base of itzJ and just to see, hey, what's up? But that looks like that's not going to happen. Once again, this is SimCity working against itzJ's archers are stranded over there, and these wolves of Python can try to get a surround on elbarto. So far doing an excellent job. Craft just chasing them down as well. We do have this catadrop coming in. This needs to find some serious counter damage for it to be worth getting this. Yeah, this is a lot of out of elbarto. Twist and turn twice the time. The archers get here. They do a run, actually. Not all the archers fire at the same time. It's a little bit better. But yeah, it's so far, you know, some good buying time out of itzJ and elbarto, which allows this drop to sneak by actually, and that has not quite been scouted quite yet. We do have one Gyrocraft back at home. This is an excellent scout of elbarto, by the way. Just coming in, seeing the third den, seeing the fortress timing, seeing that there's a snake charmer, no third base. That is actually valuable information. We do have this catadrop coming in. At the same time, we have a catadrop for bScherm that's about to go in. He's going to head back, which is obviously not what he wanted to do. Good reaction out of bScherm over here to pull these workers back, and then the gyros are going to just come back and beat this minute. So this was what I was saying about going for the catadrop, probably not being the best play. However, itzJ did go for that third base on the backhand side, as I did mention previously as well. If you want to drop those, yep, there you go. Maybe get a little bit more damage. Perhaps target down some workers here. Python. One kill so far. That probably did maybe like 2 kills in total, which is not the amount of damage that you want. Probably wanted a little bit more. So that's a significant threat to, a significant amount of use invested with the net result of not too much. Python taking this base instead of this base, that is a little bit weird. Probably, okay, I guess because he doesn't want to take down these houses over here. I guess that makes sense. Where did the catadrop for bScherm go? I guess he brought it back. Now has it on its way. He brought it back, and I think he put all his workers into it just to keep them safe, but is now going to go for a catadrop on the right-hand side. So this is going to be a pretty significant push. These wolves are going to be out of position for the first part of it, and it might be a bit of a 2-1 fight, I can say. elbarto pulling his wolves. Yep, okay, there we go. Gun did go down for free. We do not have. Okay, we have a single ballista. We'll see how much damage that Python and bScherm were able to get. Canada coming in, but a good pull away out of itzJ. I don't think this is quite good. Anti-air is nowhere to be found. So that is a lot of dead workers just from the gyros over here as well. Coupled with the catapult. This is actually working against itzJ here. We have a nice wall, but that's going to be nice for the opposing team, for bScherm. Able to do a little bit of damage here. These archers might be able to take down a gyro or two. Barely not able to. Oh! Barely not able to, yeah.
That's okay though. At the same time, bScherm was able to establish his third. Python was able to do the same, and elbarto basically did the same as well. Here's a big, push into the fence. elbarto trying to hold position here. Python is bringing down the squares. This could actually get trapped though if the rest of okay. So the issue with going for this sort of split, like this wide, range of map is that if you're the aggressor, you can really force your opponent to have to bounce back between different ends of the map, right? So last time it was this fight over here that forced elbarto to bring all his units over. They got a little bit of damage done, which was great. And at the same time, this is the other side of the map where they just attack on the other side, and yeah, so it's really big. However, we do have a big push at the same time going in just straight down through the middle. I'm not going to try to do some bounce back plays from the side to side. But this is actually a pretty scary army from Python here. Going to try to trap this. elbarto's army is out of position, which means that this is swallowed up. That is huge. Clark here, once again, not being in correct position means itzJ's units are going to control this before elbarto things can arrive. This catapult's putting in a hard game. Careful about that. But yeah, so this is basically 4 fights in a row. Not ideal. Yeah, this is why you need to be very, very coordinated. You need to move out on the map at the same time. You need to fight at the same time, or else this sort of thing will happen where you get crushed 2 versus 1 army. I don't care who you are. You could be Weird Rat, you could be me. You're not going to win a 2v1 fight. And yeah, this is looking very disastrous for itzJ and elbarto with after those pretty poor fights. And Python and bScherm going to try to push into the side of elbarto. Where is itzJ's army? Not much of an army yet. Yeah, guns trying to come and defend the side of the map. Down to that insane fight that they had on the map, where then it's just not working. There's some gap that's coming in, and they will withstand some soldiers. Their whole position at Python was trying to knock down the back. It's going to get one of them. Might be instead gonna bring it down. It's like that drag. No, he's gonna go for the drag. And get back to the sound, basically. March past that's obviously not. March needs to repair this. I think that is not repairing yet. It's kind of jerking around, but it's able to save it. That is actually a pretty big army this. But at the same time, that means that it gives the opposing team enough space to macro up. We have triples Dragon's Blade, we have +1 already complete, we have these gyros being pulled back to defend and repair, so excellent fight in the middle, and they used that advantage to the fullest and did some good counter damage, taking down some good infrastructure. So I guess one thing is that these catapults didn't really contribute to anything, so it could have been a lot worse if this map was a little bit smaller. It ended up not mattering too much. We have itzJ, however, still having economy. This is the 4th base of itzJ, whereas bScherm is just now taking the 4th base, and looks like Python still isn't even thinking about it. This worker, not quite sure what that's about. Maybe it's just there to take on that base, perhaps. Doesn't repair this. And this SimCity would be, I think, the 8th over here, then they were forced to route around because this is not a passable path for these 2x2 gapping. It is able to defend the 4th base though. bScherm's 4th base almost up. elbarto gonna try to take the 4th base in the top left-hand corner. And we'll see how it goes from here. A little bit of a run by over here being a little bit annoying, but that's not gonna amount to too much. itzJ's workers are mining over here. Maybe wants to get a castle and some towers up here. Yep, looks like it. Okay, this is very, very risky in my opinion. But if this does become a chokehold, it could potentially pay off big time. We have some gyros coming into the main base of elbarto. Gonna try to target down some orders. These dragons should be sufficient to deal with them, however. This is gonna be a huge surround. Another 2v1 fight. Elbarto's armies, frankly, is just those dragons inside the map. How is this gonna happen? Each has so many battles. Wolves coming in from the bottom side. Shane's not going to be able to take this position. She needs to cancel this and get out of here. These Lista going down there are going to be huge too, which means because that means that there's not going to be anything to deal with these dragons or Python. The gyrocraft have rotated over to this side as well. They're take down this base of itzJ, and itzJ's side of the map is crumbling. elbarto trying to come over to do some helping if possible. But these dragons are equal in number to these dragons seemingly, and there's more gyrocraft as well. Single is anchoring this position as well. So yeah, things are really dire here. Team of itzJ and elbarto. No ballista over here means that these dragons are being chased away by the gyros and dragons. And bScherm gonna try to take this base. Looks like gonna be more successful than itzJ was able to take on this side of the map. Yeah, this is not looking very good. itzJ on the verge of losing his 4th base. Gonna try to maybe rotate around and take this base, but I don't know. That's not gonna work out. The ballista count is not very high. Seemingly just 1 for itzJ and 0 for elbarto. So not very good. We have looks like no. I thought that was an attack. That was not an attack. Instead, we have some the dragons for elbarto going around the top left-hand side of the map, trying to try to do some damage. These 2 bulls of Python are going to scout that elbarto base in the top left. These dragons are going to try to target down some of these workers. Position, there we go. That is good. We want to see some more ballista out of itzJ. I want to, throw you guys back to that game on, what was it? City of Perils, where they were able to get that advantage and use that to get the air advantage. This game, not quite just yet, so not looking very good. Python able to take this space as their 4th base, with that I thought their base, and also putting that live addition, so a lot of production will be online in the near future. At the same time, this flock of dragons able to deny the 5th base of bScherm. So that is very nice. But dragons and the airship of the Christmas tree, predator, are going to be able to come in and deny that. It's going to try to target down the airship, but that's not going to do too much. These dragons will retreat away from these scary ballistas. We do have itzJ taking a good position on the high ground over here. bScherm has too many catapults. I want to see some few more Gatling guns for sure. I feel like so many players these days are getting too many catapults. Like, they're really good, but I think you need a little bit more zone control. These dragons coming in, trying to bring it down the workers. Good stop position out of elbarto. But these ballistas mean that these dragons of elbarto can't really come in unless they take huge splash damage. Mostly targeting the we have this fight over here, but there are 4 ballistas. bScherm beating that scare fight has been favored of Christmas team. And these wolves looks like they're going to get surrounded eventually. Maybe not, but there's no anti-air for these ballistas, or these 2 ballistas. If these 2 ballistas get right now, they're just going to be free reign for the dragons of Python here. These wolves taking down these ballistas would be very nice, but they're just not enough dragons here to work with. And I believe he's behind on upgrades as well, yeah. It was +2, so +0, but now it's +1, so catching up a little bit. At the same time, itzJ did manage to hold this corner base in the bottom right, actually giving up the top high ground position here, which means that he's much more vulnerable to surrounds. You do need to be careful about that. This going to take down a few dragons for free, but elbarto is struggling to defend his main base against a superior count of dragons. He's actually going to push them away, which is nice, but we'd like to see itzJ pull some ballista to help out over here on the side. This mech army is pretty scary, but bScherm has a sizable mech army of his own as well. He does need to be careful about that. One thing that you can do is you can put one unit over here to try to induce some friendly fire, or you can just kill them yourself with your own catapults. That's also very nice. There's only a single ballista here, which means that if this ballista does come down, and I think it really will, that means that there's nothing to do with these dragons right now. That means this entire mech army is going to be crushed. We'll see if elbarto is able to find some other damage on the other side of the map, but with a sizable number of ballistas over here, that's not going to happen. itzJ's army completely decimated, dropping down to approximately 7 supply, even less now, and bScherm is still maxed with a whole bunch of money in the bank. Python is supply blocked, which is not good, but still, very healthy. Yes, they don't have, I would love to see another base, and as I say that, he's going to go for a 5th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, 5th base. And, yeah, this is a huge flock of dragons. We've got a single ballista, another ballista coming on the way, and these dragons of Large are not going to do too much against these 5 ballista over here. So, dragons targeting down that ballista, which means it's going down instantly without, even with the repair there. That is a huge amount of damage. And even if you get rid of the dragons here, there's just too many catapults around. I think this is going to be basically the end. elbarto trying to take this base, trying to do what he can with these dragons, but I don't think that's going to be enough. It's just going to try to come in to defend this base, but that's going to be a bit of a missed opportunity. I think he just needs to leave. He just needs to get out, transfer his workers, save them as much as possible, and try to, consolidate forces with elbarto here, I think. elbarto adding in a workshop, hasn't built anything out of it, I don't think, just yet. And is just trying to hold on to, basically, is white and here. Yeah, I really want to see a few more gyros out of bScherm here. I feel like gyros just help you push into these positions a little bit better. They also help you, deal with some of that zone control that you're kind of missing sometimes. Slow down armies, lead to better conditions, that sort of thing. These dragons ravaging the natural base of elbarto and itzJ. There's still more minerals here, but some infrastructure is there still. Pretty big. elbarto's still trying to do some damage over here, but there's just too much stuff. I don't think that's gonna work. Good positioning out of bScherm here. You're not gonna know. No, that's a huge mistake. Look at all those dragons going down. No. That is disastrous. Just lost like 6 dragons for free there. itzJ did sneak a tower over here. The worker pool is gonna deal with that pretty easily. But yeah, itzJ is out of money. itzJ is out of resources. And the same can be said with elbarto. You're only 50 max supply, 50 supply. bScherm is still max. Python is also, up there in supply. So, bScherm's going to try to do some catapults, but there's nothing for catapult, basically. I guess the saving graces are these corner bases of itzJ and elbarto, but they're quickly going to be taken down, I feel like. There's really not much to deal with this center piece. Where is all the supply of bScherm though? He's maxed, but he's like, where's, I guess it's all in these ballista here. And these catapults gonna come in and try to take down, that's a huge shot. We're gonna take down this base. GG won't leave its call. elbarto tapping out. itzJ is probably gonna do the same over here once all these workers are down. And that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, an excellent play, excellent game out of both teams, but the reverse sweep is denied, and that means bScherm and also Python are going to be your victors for the Paradise Series 2v2 series match number 3. I hope you guys all had a whole lot of fun. I think I did as well. So, yeah. I think it was great. Hopefully, we'll see some more good matches in the future, and I'll see you next time.